Boys and girls, Bunjamin Bakcho here. We're back in F124. It's been quite a while since I put out any video at all whatsoever, but today I decided to jump on F124 and do some PB hunting in time trials. There's been a couple of handling patches since the last time I seriously played this game, so I decided I'd jump on and see how well we do. Now, the most recent patch that was released, I think when it was released, I did jump on for like a day to try and grind out some time trial times, but I haven't really played much since then. And I don't think there's been a handling patch since then, so I don't really know where all this pace is coming from. I have been kind of playing every now and again. Every week the divisions get reset, the new ranked races come out. I will jump on just to kind of check out the tracks and stuff like that, but other than that, yeah, I don't really know where this time is coming from. As you can see on screen right now, we are at Bahrain, one of the more difficult tracks for me. I'm like almost 2 seconds off the top esports drivers, so definitely still need a little bit of work here, but as you can see, 6 laps into our time trial run here, and we're up about a 10th. Didn't really find much time through sectors 1 and sector 1 and sector 2, but in sector 3 we managed to find some time there, a little bit less than a 10th. Next track we're at is Australia. Probably a mediocre track for me, not too bad, not too great. Contrary to what you used to do in the last iterations of the game, you can actually take quite a bit of curb on the inside of turn 1 there and help save some time. If you can somehow hop it without any of your tires touching the inside curb at turn 1, you can actually save a little bit of time. So we gained a little bit of time through sector 1, but as we go into sector 2 we lose a bit of time, but then out of that right-hander there we start gaining a little bit as well. We are green now, about 800ths up on our personal best. And then going into this left-hander here, I don't know, I feel like not braking whatsoever is actually quicker, just throwing the car in and letting the downforce and downshifting slow the car down there. And now we are almost 2/10ths up on our personal best. This right-hander always gives me a bit of trouble. As you can see, we do lose a little bit of time. And then going into the last few corners here, we are about a 10th and a half up. There's a little bit of time in that left-hander there, but on the exit of this final corner, we do start gaining a little bit of time. So a 10th and a half, 6 laps in, not too bad if I do say so myself. Currently 1,002nd place there. Track number 3, we are at Suzuka. Now I did actually improve my time, I think about lap 6 or so, but I forgot to start recording, so I was like, alright, I don't know if we're going to improve through here again, but on lap number 10 we start decently, and then going into the S's, as you can see, we're about a 10th down now and losing time to Thomas Paradis. I'm using ghosts of drivers that I can be assured of that aren't cheating, because Suzuka, there is a little bit of a cheat. You can cut out the last few corners and save yourself like 3 seconds. So I know Tomas has similar pace to the esports drivers. I don't know if he actually is an esports driver, but we're actually not too far behind him here. As you can see, his ghost isn't too far ahead of us, and we are about 800ths down going into sector 3 here, or end of sector 2, just about to hit sector 3, going into Spoon there. And we gain a bit of time on the exit, about half a 10th or so, going down the final straight here, and just about 700ths of a second up on our personal best, which was just set a few laps before. And then going into the final chicane always gives me issues, but we managed to be up here. We're up, and then on the exit we're up some more, so a little over a 10th, about a 10th, and yeah, just about 0.107 seconds there, so not too bad. 1092nd place, not too shabby for Japan. Imola, another track that for some reason I'm having difficulty with this year, even though with the new handling model it's actually easier through Aqua Minerale and the last chicane. So go into turn 1 here, a little bit wobbly there. Chanakenchi, our ghost ahead of us. Again, we're not too far behind at the end of sector 1 here. And then as we start into Sector 2, we start gaining a little bit more time. We finally start seeing green on our delta, and the Ghost isn't too far ahead of us either. I believe he is first in the world. I can't remember. Again, not using brakes on that left-hander there actually saved us quite a bit of time. As you can see, almost up 2/10 when we were just at about even with our personal best. Aqua Minerale losing a little bit of time there. And then going into the final chicane here, which always gives us some trouble. Trying not to invalidate as it's super easy. And we gain a chunk of time. On the exit, we start losing a little bit there again. But going to the last few corners now, we're 2/10 up here, which is actually pretty good for us. And again, I don't know why. It seems like I was much quicker today than I have been in the last week. I think I tried PB hunting last week. Spent about maybe 2 or 3 hours and really couldn't improve much at all, but for some reason today it just kind of clicked for some reason. So up 2/10. Good God, Monaco, I hate this track. And I think we were about 4 seconds off world record pace, but again, for some reason having a good time of it today. Going into Sector 1 here, into the hairpin, we are about almost half a second up, which is quite a big improvement for me, as Monaco is not really a great track for me. And then almost 7/10 up going into the tunnel section here. We start losing time. We're about 6/10 up now. And then going into the chicane here, let's see how well we take this. We do gain a bit of time on entry, and then yeah, we're up on exit as well. 8.5/10 up, and then going into the swimming pool section up here. We're just gaining time in every single corner, and again, I don't know. You know what though? I did watch a few tutorial videos about braking and kind of just chucking the car into corners. And as you come up to the finish line, we are 1.3 seconds up, which I probably wouldn't have dreamed of hitting just a week ago. So yeah, if you guys want to improve your times, look up some videos on YouTube. It definitely helped me as we jumped on today and hit a few personal bests. So we are at Canada now. 50% brake bias. I'm not usually using 50% brake bias at Canada, but for the world record setup, I think they were using 50%. I think this is the world record setup. So going into the end of Sector 2, we are almost 2/10 up. And again, I wasn't anywhere close to these times last week, so I don't really know where it's coming from. Into the hairpin, we are about 2/10 up. Halfway through, we almost hit 4/10, but then we kind of lose a little bit on exit, although now we are about 3/10 up onto the first of the 2 back straights here before the chicane. So just about 3/10 up on our personal best into the final chicane, gaining a bunch of time, and then look at that delta just increase. So half a second at Canada, and then on the next lap, I believe it's the next lap here, we managed to improve again. Didn't improve in Sector 1, but personal best Sector 2, purple Sector 2, and then improving in the final chicane again, and then we gain another 1/10 of a second. Improving our position to, oh no, we don't see it. So yeah, 6/10 improvement at Canada today in a handful of laps. Next up is Spain here. I'm not too far off the world record pace at Spain, so I didn't really think I would improve at all, but as you can see just through the first few corners, you do gain almost a 1/10. And again, the Ghost is Kian Godendorp. I don't believe he's an esports driver, but he does race with them in like league races, so he's up there with them. Not as fast as your esports drivers, but he is close enough to fight with them in races. And almost 2/10 as we go into this left-hander of turn 7 here, and then into the final DRS straight, 1.8 seconds off. And the Ghost isn't really too far ahead of us. Now, I say not too far ahead. I'm nowhere near their pace, but relatively speaking, he's not too far ahead. Have a little bit of a moment in that corner there, and then coming into the final few corners here, we are almost 2/10 up. We start losing it a bit through here. I think I need to work on my line through the last few corners here. As you can see, we dropped about 2 or 3/10. We do gain a bit out of the final corner, so good enough for 1382, and almost 2/10 improvement. What was it, like 0.17? Now Austria, again, another track where it's just really, really short, and I think I've already maximized as much as I could, so I really didn't think I would improve much here. We are using Otis Lawrence as our ghost, and as you can see, he's already gained a bunch of time just through turn 1 there. So lap number 7 of our time trial run here. Yeah, turn 2, not really all that great. All the time we just gained, we lost, and we are back down into red for our delta, but we start hitting green again. Turn 4, not too bad. Okay, pretty bad. All right. We start losing on exit, and then through this left-hander here, we gain a bit more time. And then again, not using brakes for this left-hander here, just kind of downshifting and using the downforce of the car. Almost losing it on the exit there. I invalidated quite a few times, losing the car right there. But then we go into the final few corners here, and we're up almost 3/10. And it is an improvement of 2.5/10, so not too bad. Not great for our placement, 2708 on the leaderboard position, but still a good improvement. And then here we are at Hungary. I just set a personal best a few days ago, so I didn't think I was gonna do well here. And then all of a sudden we hit turn 1 and just almost 2/10 gained into turn 1 there. So I was like, holy cow, maybe we can improve here a bit. And then the ghost that we're using is Just Nordic. Again, I don't believe he is an esports driver, but he does do league racing, I believe, with some of them. So I think his pace is close to the best in the world. Some of these tracks, it's really difficult to figure out what times are legit because there are so many guys cheating, and I don't know all of the fast drivers by name. So I just have to use the ones that I recognize. If Just isn't the fastest at this track, then I apologize. He's just the first name that I recognize. And as you can see, we are 3/10 up almost on our personal best coming out of this right-hander here. And then into the last few corners, losing a little bit of time into this corner on entry. But then on exit, it's not too bad. And then into the final corner here, just a long right-hander that you're just waiting and waiting to get traction. And then we are about 2 3/4 of a tenth up, 28.68 at Hungary. Not too great, but almost 3/10 improvement is quite good for me. And here we are at Zandvoort. Again, a track that I thought I already maximized as we're using Duncan Hofflin as our ghost. And then into turn 1 here, look at all that time we just gained, almost a tenth. We lose a bit on exit there, and then going into the carousel here. We do hit the red in the middle of the corner, but on exit we're almost back up to a tenth. And again, the ghost isn't too far away. I know it looks close. The time is actually much... In an F1 car, the time difference is quite a bit, but just visually he's not too far ahead of us. And then going into this double right-hander here, about a tenth and a half up on our personal best, and then this long left-hander here, going into the end of sector 2, lose a bit of time, but we're still 1.3/10, 1.2/10 up, and then into sector 3 here, the last few corners of the track on exit here, we're almost up 3/10, lose a little bit there, start losing some delta, and then the final corner, we were up 2/10 on entry, but we are down to about 1.8/10. So again, an improvement at Zandvoort, not too bad for us for an entire day of running. And then at Monza, Monza's DRS zone on the start-finish straight kind of throws me off because the sign, it shows the DRS sign, but then the line for DRS doesn't actually come up until maybe about 10 meters later, so it's kind of odd. Turns 1 and 2 at Monza, I am down half a tenth. Don't know why I just couldn't get it done today, although we only did about 5 laps at Monza, so I'm sure I could improve And then going into the second chicane here, we were green halfway through, but on exit, not really all that great. And then to the first Lesmo, again, not that great. Second Lesmo, we do claw back a little bit of time, but we're still about a 10th down on our personal best. And then going into the final chicane here, we need a really good final chicane. And oddly enough, this is the chicane that gives me the most issues generally, but we are up. I think we gained almost 2/10 in that final chicane, which is odd because that's generally where I lose time more often than not. 0.12 seconds up, and then the final corner here. Gain a little bit of time. No, we lose a little bit of time. So we're just about a 10th up on our personal best. Not too bad. 17:10 in the world. And then our final track here, Azerbaijan. Again, another one of those difficult tracks that I thought I maximized, where I think we're like 2.5 seconds off of world record pace. We're like 3 seconds off of world record pace, so I wasn't sure how much we'd improve here. Going into turn 1, not all that great. We can probably improve that a little bit. Turn 2, again, probably could improve a little bit more there, but we are green for the moment. We're going to lose it as we go down the straight here. Yeah, so we're just about even right now, and then going into turn 3. We do gain a little bit of time through here. The inside curb isn't really a curb. It doesn't unsettle the car or anything like that. And then after this right-hander here, we're almost 2/10 up. And then into this chicane here, which is a really fun chicane for me. We're almost 3/10 up. Well, just about 2 3/4 of a 10th up. And then going into the castle section here, we do gain a bit more time through that right-hander. And then up into the castle section here, we gain a little bit of time, and then as we exit, we are over 4/10 up. Lose a little bit on exit here on our run down to the next left-hander. So 3.5 up. I was quite impressed with myself at this point, only on our second lap, and then gaining a bunch of time on that left-hander there, and almost 4.5 up going into the final true corner of the track, and we lose a little bit of time there, which kind of compromises our run down the straight here, and we start losing a little bit of time, but then we kind of even out at a little bit over 4/10 of a second. So a really good improvement considering it was only our second lap at Azerbaijan, and I don't even remember the last time I ran here. I think maybe a couple days after the last patch. And then the lap after we set our new personal best, we end up improving by a 1/10.5 again, which I think probably puts us totally to about 6/10 of an improvement in Azerbaijan. So there you go, guys. That is our PB hunt for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Remember, eat bok choy, and I will see you all in the next one.